Hi everyone, Aaron here for Zollotech, and I wanted to show you how to install Android 5.0 Lollipop on your Nexus 7. This is last year's Nexus. It's the Wi-Fi model, but this will work for either or. There's just a couple more steps if you have the cellular version. I'll walk you step by step, and the reason I wanted to show you this is I couldn't find any videos that actually showed this step by step that were any good anyway. Now before we begin, I just wanted to say do this at your own risk. Obviously, this is something that is going to require a little bit of know-how using a computer and using different devices. I don't want you to actually attempt this unless you feel confident with that, as you may brick your device. And if you do that, that's at your own risk. So I just wanted to get that out of the way. So I'm going to use a Mac and show you how to do this step by step. It will work on Windows as well. And obviously you'll need your device. This is actually not the factory version of Lollipop. This is actually the developer version. So first, let's go into our settings. So just find your settings. You're going to go down to About, and you're going to go to the build number. Just tap on it. It says no need, you're already a developer, but just keep tapping. It'll get you the developer options. Once you've got the developer options, you'll see them pop up here. It'll be in a different menu if you don't have the developer version on here. So go into the developer options and turn on USB debugging. You can see it right here. So turn that on, we'll hit OK, and that's it for this. The next thing we need to do is move over to our computer. So you can see here we have a couple different commands. This is the quickest way to install this on Linux or Mac. So what you would want to do is copy this, open up a terminal window here, open up that. You can find it in your applications folder, or just type in terminal here and go right there. Once you have your terminal open, install this, and it will actually install the ADB and Fastboot utilities that you need in order to do this. It's really simple. It comes straight from Google, and it's necessary in order to do this. You also will need sudo commands or super user access in order to do this. It's not that big of a deal, and I'll show you that in a little bit. But before we get started, make sure you've got that. The next thing we need to do is go over to factory images for Nexus. So you need to grab the correct factory image. So you can see there's factory images for Nexus devices. And if we scroll down here, there's instructions on how to do this quickly. I'm not going to show you the quick method, as that actually resulted in errors for me. So scroll down, and you can see there's factory images for all sorts of different devices. In my case, we want the Nexus 7. There's a couple different Nexuses, so you can see there's Wi-Fi, there's one with an LTE radio, there's a Nexus 10, Nexus 4, Nexus 7, lots of different things here as well. So make sure you get the right one. Once you've got the right link, in my case it's this one up here, grab the right link. You want to make sure you're on Android 5.0. Once you've done that, it'll download. Here's the download. And what I've done is everything I've created, I've put in what's called a development folder. I actually called it development on purpose. And you can see right here, it's development. Developer is if you have Xcode installed, something like that. So make sure it goes in here. And here's all of the different tools. And then what I did, this makes it really easy, is you want to unzip this. So just click on it. It'll unzip. And we'll go in here. And you can see we've got all of these different files. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy these and paste. Now I do have some other files in here, so I'm just going to replace those. I'm going to copy and paste right over there. I had the Nexus 4 files in there. So we copied over that, and the next thing we need to do is go to our Nexus and reboot the device. Now we need to reboot the Nexus 7. So we're going to hold the power button. We're just going to power it off. And once it's off, we need to boot it up into the bootloader, basically holding power and volume down until it comes up. So we'll wait for this to shut down, and then I'll boot it up and I'll show you that. It's shut down. I'm going to hold down volume down and the power button. And you see it brings you to recovery mode. Now the first thing we need to do is, you can use your volume button to select what you want, but the first thing we need to do at this point is just plug in our USB cable to our Mac and then into the Nexus. And you can see it says lock state is locked. We need to change this to unlocked. So to do that, we're going to go to terminal, and the first thing we're going to do is connect to the device. The first thing we need to do is go to our directory. So we're going to do CD for change directory. And I told you before I made this a development directory. So we're going to go into the development directory, and we can do an ls to show the directory, whatever's in it. And so we're going to do /, this executes a command basically. We'll do fastboot space devices. And you'll see there's our device there. It's got the basically serial number or USB address of the device. So what we need to do is unlock this. So we're going to do and you can see on the Nexus immediately asks me if I want to unlock it. So yes, it may void your warranty, and you're going to use the volume buttons. I keep tapping on it. Volume, power to select. Just tap it once, and it will unlock. And you can see on the terminal it says erasing user's data. It's going to take a second, and once we're done here, it will move on to the next step. And so you can see now the lock state is unlocked. So we're unlocked, we're ready to go. The first thing we need to do now is type in fastboot erase space boot. We'll hit enter, and that came back quickly. Now to get fastboot back quickly, just hit the up arrow on your keyboard and it'll bring back what you need. The next thing we're going to do is fastboot erase cache. So erase CACHE, hit return. Then we're going to go back to fastboot. I don't need to keep retyping erase, but we're going to erase recovery. The next thing we're going to do is erase system. Remember, don't unplug your device. Then we're going to erase user data. And this may take a little bit longer. That's done. Now we're going to actually put software back on the device. So we're going to go to fastboot like we did before, flash, bootloader. And then what I do is I go to the directory where I saved this. So you can see here's the bootloader from this image. I click on it, copy it, that's Command C. Then you can do Command V and then put the extension on the end, .img for image, and hit enter. And you can see it says writing bootloader. And that completed. Now at this point, if you're flashing something other than a Nexus or a Wi-Fi device, you'll actually need to flash the radio as well. So same command, but instead of bootloader, it's fastboot flash radio space whatever that radio image is as well, if you have that. The next command is fastboot. We'll go up one more. Fastboot reboot dash bootloader. Hit enter. You'll see the Nexus reboot. And then the last command is fastboot. And this is where we're going to put the image of the operating system onto the device. So it's fastboot-w space update space whatever your image is. So here you can see the image. Again, Command C. That's how I do it. You can just type it if you want. Then .zip, return. And now you'll see this often happens where it says archive does not contain boot signature, recovery signature. Let it run here. This takes the longest of any of the time. It's actually putting the operating system onto the device. Now on a Nexus, it actually showed me on the device what it was doing. But in this case, you can see right here it says sending system. And on the Nexus, I don't see it doing anything. But you can see where it says sending system, and that's the largest file. It's 70 megabytes or 7 megabytes, whatever it is there. You can see it actually sent the system, so the operating system and all of the different things over to the Nexus, and now it's actually writing the system. And since this is actually a factory version, we shouldn't have any issues with updating in the future, but we'll wait for this to complete. So there it said finished, and then the Nexus 7 actually will reboot at this point. And you'll see that it's still unlocked. We can factory OEM lock it the exact same way, but this is going to take a moment to boot, and this will probably take quite a bit. Sometimes it happens fairly quickly, other times it does not. But we'll wait for it here and see what it does. You can see it rebooted again. And now we have the Lollipop startup screen, which is always a good sign. The first boot up could take a long time, so just keep that in mind. Actually, when I updated my Nexus 4, I had to turn it off, reboot it, and it came up just fine. So it is working. You've gotten this far. Chances are it's going to work, but we'll give it a few more minutes and see what happens here. At this point, I'm going to actually turn it off, hold down the power button. I'm going to turn it on and boot with the volume button down. You can see it's still locked or unlocked. I'm going to show you how to lock the bootloader. Now, if you're on a Mac, just scroll up until you get through all of your different commands, and we'll fastboot the device. And then we'll do /fastboot OEM lock. The bootloader is now locked. Now volume up to start, hit power, and it will boot up. You can see it booted much faster that time, and I think that's because I locked the bootloader. So I would recommend just powering off the device, hold down the power button, let it boot, and now you'll see it's optimizing the apps. You can see the Nexus 7 is updated. We've got the login screen or the start screen, and you can set it up. The screen's a little bit dim here. I have to turn the screen brightness up, but it's ready to go, and it's got Android Lollipop on it. So if you have any other questions, let me know in the comments below. As always, thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe and like this video if it was helpful. This is Aaron. I'll see you next time.